Welcome all. This is Batna Priya, Assistant Professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, SSM Institute of Engineering and Technology, Dindigul. In this video, we are going to discuss a topic on computer architecture and organization. In this video, we are going to discuss topics on the difference between computer architecture versus computer organization and what are the basic terminologies used in computer and what are the elements of computer and what are the different architectures available in computer. What is computer architecture? According to John L. Hennessy, is the most popular author of computer architecture book. He says the study of the structure, behavior, and design of computers. So here we are going to understand the study of structure of the computer. What are all components and how they are interconnected and how they behave and how they operate, and finally we are going to incorporate all these things, and at end we are going to design computer. So in the name itself, architecture, which deals with the structure, behavior, and then design of computer. Next one, computer organization. So what is computer organization? When we are taking electronic devices such as diodes, transistors, integrated circuits, digital integrated circuits, and all these are electronic devices. When we apply computer architecture principles, as we discussed in last slide, when we are applying these principles on these electronic devices, then we can able to design a general purpose computer. Now, if you are installing or developing a program on this general purpose computer, then we will achieve the desired behavior. So this is the main difference between computer architecture and computer organization. Let us discuss more with an example. Here I am taking a mobile phone. So when we are dealing with architecture, what are the components and what are the facilities available in this mobile phone? So the study of the facilities or components available in that particular device. So it deals with camera, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, FM. So these are all more number of components. So the available number of components when we are studying with that, then that is architecture. While we are going with organization, here we are going with how much are there. We are going with the quantity level. Okay. So what is the resolution of that particular camera? Okay, so 5 megapixel. What is the version of that Bluetooth? And while we are going with Wi-Fi, what is the coverage of that particular device Wi-Fi? And how many channels are available in that particular device FM? So likewise, if you are dealing with these things, then it comes under organization. I hope you all understood the main difference between architecture and organization. So next thing, we shall move with basic terminologies used in computer. So computer, we all know it is an electronic machine which accepts input from the user and process that data and stores the data and produce the output. So these are all according to series of stored instructions, these things will get happen. And hardware, which includes electronic and mechanical devices that process the data. So the peripheral devices, which are all attached with the hardware device, our electronic device, those are all hardware devices. And software, so software here, our computer program, which tells the computer to perform the particular task. Network, when we are connecting more than one devices, those devices are connected to share data and programs. Peripheral devices, so these are the expand of our electronic machine, so which has input, output, and storage capabilities. An interpreter, which is used to convert high-level language program to machine-level language program. So these are all done by statement by statement. And system software, it's a program routine which is aid the user in the execution of programs, for example, assemblers and compilers. Operating systems, which are all responsible for controlling and coordinating all the activities in a computer system, which gives the platform of our computer. Okay. Assembly language programs. So here the programs are written using mnemonics. So add A comma B. So these are all the mnemonics. So mnemonics, which are all instructions which will be in the form of English format, normal English format. Okay. And assembler, it is a software which converts assembly level language program to machine level language. And compiler, which converts high level language to machine level language, that is C program to machine level language. Okay, so these job by reading source program at once. And next one is input, which is given by the user to the computer, and data. So it is of any idea. It represents the ideas are represented by a symbol, and information. So the results of the computer storing data as bits and bytes. The other words, numbers, sounds, and graphics. And output consists of processing results produced by a computer. So what is the final output of that process? And processing, it is an operation done in many ways. Memory, so memory, at the end, the output will be stored in the memory. So the storage, which consists of primary and secondary storage. Next one is basic elements of computer. Um Basic parts of the computer, which includes input devices, output devices, network devices, data storage, and basic unit, CPU, central processing unit. So we are having main three blocks: input, output, memory, and processor. In processor, we are having ALU, arithmetic and logic unit, control unit, memory, input on output devices. So input devices, which gets input from the user, example, keyboard, mouse. Output devices, which is able to display our end result, which will be, examples or monitor, speaker, and printer more. And memory. So memory, which is used to access data and program from memory. If I'm telling you to read a particular line from a book, then I want to tell you the particular, I want to tell you the page number of that book. Then only you can able to access that page number of that book, and you can able to read the particular line. So same thing, if I want to access the particular data or program from memory, then I want to represent the address. So whenever we are storing our data, so the data will be stored in a particular address. So with the use of address only, we can able to retrieve or store our data from into memory. And next one is ALU. The arithmetic and logical operations are done using ALU. Integer operands, which are all inputs given to ALU, and opcode, which gives the instructions. The instructions will be applied on those operands, and it will produce you the output. And status, which holds the carry of that result. And next one is control unit. It supervise or control all other blocks ALU inside CPU. So the ALU blocks are all controlled by the control unit. See here, it gives you the synchronization work. The work are all synchronized and controlled by this control unit. For example, in our college, we are having multiple departments, and each department has some own functions, but they are all incorporated or synchronized by college bells. So after 4 o'clock, the college get over, like that. They are all synchronized. So as like that, here the works are synchronized and controlled by this control unit. So it gives some instructions to ALU through opcode button. And also the synchronizing operations of different blocks or inside the processor. Okay, so it handles clock signals for the processor and the block signal from the external oscillator, and you distribute the clock signal to different blocks so that all its block sets synchronized. So it is the top level view of computer components, CPU, IO module and main memory. Inputs and outputs are in stored in IO module, and CPU, which contains program counter which holds the address of the next instruction to be taken from memory, and instruction register, so which holds the address of the fetched instruction, and MAR, memory address register, MBR, memory buffer register, and IOAR, input output address register, input output buffer register, and these are all connected with memory with system bus. And in main memory we are having in main memory which holds the instruction and data. So instruction which are all programs, and data which are all operands. So the main memory, how it is organized. So the main memory which are all organized using von Neumann model or hardware model. So later next upcoming slides we will discuss with that. So in main memory we will have instruction and data. Instruction which are all programs, and data which are all operands. So these are all the different architectures. So how the instruction and data are stored in main memory. So the most popular architectures are von Neumann architecture, hardware architectures, RISC and CISC. Von Neumann architecture, for example, Intel supercomputer, which are all based on von Neumann model, where it has the same memory for instruction and data. While we are going with hardware model, it has this separate memory for program and data. So the separate memory for program and data in hardware model, but in von Neumann model, both have the same memory. So this is the main difference between von Neumann model and hardware model, where separate memory for program and data in hardware model, same memory for program and data in von Neumann model. So these are all the difference between hardware and von Neumann model. So hardware model, since we are having two memories, we need two buses so that parallel access to data and instructions shall get accessible. And next one is von Neumann model. The content of the memory if organized and all installed memory can be used. In hardware model, control unit for two buses is more complicated, but here it is simpler because we are having only a single bus. And cost wise also it will be cheaper because we are using one bus in von Neumann model. The cost also cheaper compared to hardware model. And hardware model, the program can write itself. Von Neumann model, error in a program can rewrite instruction and crash execution. In hardware model, we are using two memories, right, for the program and data. So both memories can use different sizes. In von Neumann, we are having single memory, so no change. And next one is RISC, reduced instruction set computer. So reduced, so number of instructions will be lesser. So whenever we are going with lesser number of instructions, the instructions will be in compact and in uniform instructions, and it facilitate pipelining and more lines of code, which gives you the large memory footprint. And also it allows effective compiler optimization. And CISC, complex instruction set computer, many addressing modes and long instructions. We are having a large number of instructions. High code density in often require manual optimization of assembly code for embedded systems. By combining these RISC, CISC and von Neumann or hardware model, I have given some example. When you are combining von Neumann model with this RISC instruction, example for this is ARM7. When you are combining von Neumann model with CISC instruction, example Pentium processor. When you are combining hardware model with RISC, an example is ARM9 processor. When you are combining hardware with CISC instruction, and example is SHA. So von Neumann He's the designer of monomer model. He's the most popular um, scientist or author, and hardware it is developed from Harvard University. So nothing any other than, so hardware from Harvard University they have developed this hardware model. So thank you all. In next video we shall discuss on more 8 great ideas to develop computer. Thank you all.